Hello and welcome to Miss Charlotte Astrology. My name is Charlotte. I'm a full-time working astrologer, and on this channel I analyze the astrological charts of public figures. And very often they're celebrities, and they come in the form of sometimes politicians. And that will be the case today, as I'll be analyzing the astrological chart of the former Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau. So he's been in the news because yesterday, as I'm filming this, he quit. He left, and one of his assertions was that he was just unpopular and there was just lots of bickering and fighting in his party or his cabinet. Like, people just didn't want him there. So he was like, I'm not the best for this job. I'm going to hand it over to someone else. Or, yeah, I don't know if he's going to call an election. We'll see. But yeah, he's done. And he's been in office for 9 years. And the last 4 years have been really rocky for him because of the way he managed, the pandemic. And there's just been a huge fallout. All of my Canadian friends hate him. I'm not sure if it's because they lean conservative or because he's literally incompetent. And maybe that's a bit of both of those things. But yeah, things are crazy in Canada right now. So what I wanted to do is have a look at his chart, figure out who he is, like what's his deal. Is he really this little Canadian boy next door, Canada's son? Because we know that his dad, or we think it's his dad. His dad was the former Prime Minister of Canada as well. So he's got a Taurus midheaven. Like, he seems really wholesome. Is he this person, or does he have some secrets and some lies? Is he telling lies? Sweet, delicious lies. Anyway, we'll talk about it in a moment. Before we dive in, I want you guys to know I have a couple of openings in January as I'm talking to you. I think there are some spaces. They have 60-minute meetings where we dive into your chart and we analyze the crap out of it, and you get a recording of it at the end of it, so you don't have to worry about taking notes or anything like that. If you can't do that, I do have 15-minute recorded readings on MP3. They're just sent to your email. The 15-minute ones are transit readings, synastry readings, full chart readings, and then I got 5-minute focus readings, which are shorter, and they're just for a specific part of your life or your chart that you would like some insight into. So yeah, if you'd like to support me, that's the best way to do it. I also have YouTube members, and if you're a YouTube member, you do get discounts and special offers and extra content for £5 a month. It's just one tier. Yeah, and that's the best way to support me. Thank you so much. And if you don't want to do all that, please like, subscribe, comment, watch these videos all the way through so you can help me with the algorithm. I'd be very grateful. Thank you. All right, so let's dive in to Justin Trudeau's chart. Who is this man? So as you can see, he is a Virgo rising at the 0 degree. He's a Capricorn sun. He has a Venus in Aquarius. This man should not have been married. And he's got a Mercury in a stellium in Sagittarius. And he's got a Mars at 29 degrees in Pisces in the 8th house. Messy, and a moon with Chiron in Aries in the 8th that plays into the 9th. So this man has some skeletons. He's got some skeletons. Let's talk about this, shall we? Because he's got a Mars in Pisces, and in 4 days, as I'm speaking, okay, in 4 days from now, as I'm filming this, the North Node will shift into Pisces at 29 degrees in Pisces. It's going to be on his Mars. He's resigned just as the North Node hits his Mars. And I'm wondering if he has been either blackmailed or threatened. Because Mars in the 8th house is secret sex and secret money. It's also potentially enemies, like really, like you make enemies with your business dealings, potentially. But this Mars does not look good, especially since it's squaring his sun. It forms a T-square with Pluto. Okay, Mars in Pisces is a dick and an anger with no boundaries. The phallus has no boundaries. Who has he pissed off? Who has he stolen from? What has he done with his money? Someone check his wallet. Someone check his bank account. Because he's done something. Part of me, okay, I don't know anything, but I'm wondering if he has ever used public money his salary to like pay for hookers, things like that. I'm not saying that's true, but this is dirty. He's ruthless. He's a ruthless man. Yeah, and the eighth house is one of the darkest houses, and the North Node is about to swing into that in Pisces, and there's going to be a series of eclipses that are going to illuminate the darkest part of his chart, exposing his sex life or his irresponsible spending or his bad temper. Things are going to come out. He's just all of a sudden quit. We'll see what happens, because this transit's going to expose some shit. Also, that Saturn is moving over his Mars as well, and it's going to swing into Aries real soon. I think there's a reckoning coming for this man. And that's why he quit. Something's going to get exposed. Something has to get exposed. Why would he quit all of a sudden? It's not just because people don't like him. Something's happening. Because this man did not want to quit. He's been unpopular for so long. Why now? The moon and Chiron together, the moon playing into the ninth, it is in the eighth, which is already an unhappy mother and secrets and lies around the mother or the home or the family. But if it plays into the ninth house, that's a perpetually dissatisfied mother. The mother was always like the grass was greener on the other side. The mother had a lot of regrets. And we know that his mother is not the most mentally stable person. Very beautiful woman, but very unstable personality. And the Chiron there is a wounded mother. So his mum does not look healthy. His mum does not look happy. His mum does not look satisfied. And as a result, neither is he. I think he might, to a certain extent, hate women a bit. It does look like he was his mother's favorite, and he has a very weirdly close relationship to his mother. It's weird. But he also kind of doesn't like them. Maybe he's a politician. He has to seem like he loves his mother in order to be popular, right? People love a man that loves his mum. But I think, based on this placement, there is some deep resentment towards his mother. Maybe she was just either too pushy, or she was too delusional, or she was just too unstable. Like, she looks very wounded. As a result, he has trouble processing his own feelings with that moon in Aries and Chiron. It's almost like he tries to heal himself, or tries to fix himself, or tries to numb the pain by like having too much sex, like really throwing himself into that ninth house, because he loves to explore. This man, he shouldn't be a politician. He should be a bohemian, because I look at his other placements, not just this ninth house moon with Chiron. Like, he's someone that shouldn't really be in office. He shouldn't be in a traditional role. He needs to be living in a nudist colony and have like several girlfriends. Like, that's what he should be doing. He's got issues. But yeah, the moon, Chiron, Aries placement playing out in the ninth, that's just someone who's just never satisfied. That's someone who needs, what is a fire moon in a fire house playing out in a fire house? What do they need? They need oxygen, and they need wood to burn. They need to burn all the time. He gets bored very quickly. This is an ADHD moon. Never satisfied, never satiated, and doesn't like his mother. And I know that in his speeches, he's been very supportive of women. I think he seems like a bit of a feminist, but I think he's got a lot of resentment around his mum. I'm not saying he doesn't love her. I think there is some love there, but she wounded, and it's wounded him. The moon in Aries playing out in the ninth is a really nice aspect with Neptune, with Mercury. And Mercury is communication. So if you've got a moon Mercury trine, you're going to be good at winning people over. You're going to be able to emotively express yourself. You're going to be able to move people, because the moon is emotions, Mercury is speech. If they're in a good alignment, it's charming. Emotional words, emotional speeches that are really well put together, invoking emotion and feelings in people in a very sophisticated way. He's good at that. That's why he was a really good politician, because he's really good at the show. And also, he is a fifth house sun. So even though he's a Capricorn, which is very salt of the earth, he is like a Leo because he's a fifth house sun. Look at me. He loves the show. He loves to be looked at. He's pretty. He knows he's pretty. He does one-handed push-ups in his office. Like, we've seen the pictures. So even though he is a Capricorn, he's kind of like a Leo. Having a Capricorn, having an Earth sun in the Leo house tempers that a little bit, and he just looks like, he looks earnest. He looks good. He doesn't look like too much of a show off. When it's an Earth sun in a fifth house, they can get away with a bit more. It's not as loud or as boisterous, but he does really enjoy attention. That's why when his shit is exposed, it's going to disgrace him. Mars square the sun. Something with his temper, something with sex, something with money, and maybe all of those things. Something's going to happen that's going to disgrace him. This Mercury with Neptune and Jupiter, I think he's a great storyteller. I think he's a fantastic liar. This is not the most practical placement to be running a country. I think he's really good at invoking emotion in people and moving people. The fantastic speeches and storytelling and all of that looks really, it's good. It sounds good. It looks good. Is it the most practical placement for running a country? No. You can't build, what's that saying? You can't build on clouds, or you can't build on sand. Well, it's not stable. It's not stable. He doesn't have a very practical mind to be running a country. Also, can I just point out, Neptune, if we look at it as playing as in the fourth house, that's secrets and lies of the family. There could be addictions in the family. There's some dark secrets in that family. Abuse, addiction, criminal behavior, sacrifices. Neptune is one planet that's associated with death, and it's very much in close proximity to Mercury, which is the sibling planet. And what does Mercury rule? The third house here, and he's got Lilith and Uranus and Pluto all playing into that as well. Why does he have a difficult relationship with his siblings? Why do his siblings, why does his relationship with the siblings look so terrible? What happened to his brother? Didn't he die in some freak ski accident? I also heard that his brother that died in that accident had a girlfriend, and then he married his brother's girlfriend. Is that true? That's some malefic third house, fourth house shit right there, if that's true. Someone correct me in the comments if that's true, please. I hope it's not, because that sounds really disturbing. But yeah, with Neptune and Mercury together, I hate to say it, but he's kind of psychic. Like, he's really intuitive. He's very intuitive. Not practical, but very intuitive. Jupiter actually rules Sagittarius. Jupiter with the Mercury, he knows multiple languages. I mean, Jupiter and Sagittarius, they govern like foreign languages. And I know French is not a foreign language, but you know what I mean. Like, he knows many languages, very learned, communicator, he's a great communicator. It's just not the most practical Mercury. But great storyteller, knows how to invoke emotion in people, motivate people with his words. He's a fantastic liar when he wants to be. But yeah. What's this shit with the brother? And the crazy mum, all of that is also opposite the moon. So there's some weird stuff with the mum. Weird stuff with the siblings. And we all know the theory about his paternity, right? Apparently, allegedly, according to all these theories, Fidel Castro's his dad. They have the same bone structure, so I don't know. What do you think? Tell me in the comments if you think he's Fidel Castro's son. Let's have a look at this Venus. This is not a Venus that should be married. Okay. Venus in Aquarius, like, he needs to be free in a relationship. Not surprised that when Pluto swung into here, as soon as Pluto swung into Aquarius, and as soon as Saturn swung into Pisces, in his 7th, 8th house, like, divorce happened. Not surprised. He shouldn't be married. he should be living on an island in a nudist colony, as I said earlier. He needs to like have many wives and live an alternate lifestyle. That ninth house moon, that Venus in Aquarius, like he just needs to enjoy his money, enjoy his wealth, and just stop trying to be a politician. The North Node represents destiny, like what you're fated for. It's with Venus. It looks pretty good. It's really nicely aspected. It's in a work house. I'm wondering if he's going to change. He's going to pivot with career. We'll see what happens at his nodal return. Because if he gets disgraced for whatever I've just mentioned earlier, if he gets disgraced, he can't go back into politics. He's going to have to do something else. Maybe he can be political without being a politician. The North Node in Aquarius is about community. In the sixth house, it's like it's still work and everyday bills and routine. Venus is also a social planet and it's love. So we'll see how this plays out. Maybe he starts his own nudist colony. You know, maybe he just really wants to free the nipple. We'll see what he does. Yeah. We'll see what he does, because I just don't think he can go back into politics. No one likes him. Certainly Saturn forming an outer sign conjunction with the midheaven does indicate some disgrace. Like he gets to the top of his game. Saturn in the 10th house is actually pretty good for achieving a lot in your career, but you will have a reputational downfall. This Saturn is really nicely aspected in a grand trine, an air grand trine with Pluto and Venus. Like that is popularity, and at one point he was quite popular. So maybe he'll get that back if he can pivot into another career. But yeah, that's a really nice air trine in money houses. It's good. Yeah, I'm just having a look around. There's something here with this Neptune Saturn opposition in the 4th and in the 10th. Because 4th house is family, 10th house is work. There's like there's secrets and lies in the home and the family that's directly impacting the reputation at work. Make sense of that. Make sense of that. For a long time, he looked like a Taurus midheaven, which is very buoyant, Canadian boy next door. He's got Pallas Athena up here, which is creative and strategic genius. Like it's very good for image. And then he's got he's got part of fortune here, which is like literally fortune. So he looks good. For some time, he looks good. But that's not who he is. He's not the Canadian boy next door. I think he's quite ruthless. And he looks kind of mean, actually. He looks a little bit mean. He comes off as nice, but I think he's quite mean. His south node is in Leo. So we talked about the north node with the Venus in the 6th house. The south node's in Leo in the 12th. And the ruler of it is the sun, which is in the 5th. What kind of hedonistic party shit was he up to? Listen, he's a Gen Xer, so a lot of the debauchery that he likely is guilty of has not been filmed. But let me tell you, if he's got a south node in Leo in the 12th house, and that's the house of no boundaries, in the sign of parties, and the ruler of it playing out in the house of parties, like this guy has been like literally like he was running across fields naked drunk. Like he was doing, which is fine. That's not the worst thing, but he has had a fun time and he's gotten away with it for much of his life. And maybe he'll continue to, but he comes from a place where he could do whatever he wanted without any consequence for a long time. He should be a creative. He needs to be like a beatnik vagabond nudist colony. Like he just doesn't, he's not a good politician. Yeah. I don't think he cares that much about politics or human rights. I think he just really likes the idea of being perceived as capable and being the center of attention, and yeah, and maybe to a certain extent inspiring people. I think he enjoys that, but in terms of the practicalities of running a country, no. we'll see what happens when Saturn swings past his Mars and the North Node sits on his Mars, and then Saturn will also swing into Aries. We'll see what will happen because there will be further developments with this. Okay. That's all I have to say, really. Hope you enjoyed that. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. I will see you in the next video. Hey to all my Canadians. Love you very much. And I will see you in my next video.